The Wellness Show, episode 119.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Banighen, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So welcome to the Wellness Show, and today I have a fortune of talking with Silverado, and she's a horse lady and has the most amazing website full of all these amazing pictures of horses. I know she's an animal lover, and I know that she wants to talk about things like magic and a lot more than that. So let me just see what she says here. She says, I was born in Cold Lake, Alberta. My father was in the Air Force, and we moved all around Canada. He retired in the Okanagan, and I have had dreams of having a horse running in the Olympics and being Roy Rogers. Only the first came true, but one could claim that I've exceeded both. Now that does raise a question, doesn't it? So there must be a story there. I do remember Roy Rogers when I was a kid.
And do you remember Trigger?
I do remember Trigger. Yes, I do.
I have a horse named Serendipity that's a pale Palomino, and he's turning 21 this year, but I was inspired to have a Palomino because of Roy.
Of Roy, yeah. So, I've been curious because you have some very ancient horses in your collection, and I'm wondering, gee, how long do horses actually live?
Well, normally horses live, it's good if they can live to 30, but I do have one, a friend of mine named Justice is looking after him, and we think he's over 40, which is amazing. He just doesn't seem to want to die.
Yeah, that's amazing. You see the one that just took that little girl for a ride? Yeah.
Isn't that cool? That cute?
That is cool. He looked so happy and so proud of what he was able to do. So yeah, that's a lot of years to be around, which is wonderful because you get to share that with them. So,
and I think that's the secret too, eh?
Yeah.
Of living at a good long age.
Yeah, it's being loved, right?
Being loved, feeling useful.
Yeah, and being taken care of and just being part of the family. So when your horse is all together, and I know that's a story you're going to talk about because they're not at the moment, how many horses are there altogether?
Well, I'm down to 6 that I have relatively close by, and one that's in Rock Creek, being looked after by a girl that used to ride with me over 20 years ago.
So I know the Rock Creek area. That's really quite nice horse country. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great place to have a horse. So, and where are the rest of the horses? Are they farmed out to different friends, or what's up?
No. I've got them together in Lake Country. I've been trying to keep them together because they've been together all their lives pretty much.
Yeah, I saw that picture when you reintroduced them from being separated for a while. So that's really important for horses. I mean, they really operate as a herd. So being together is extremely important. It's something else humans haven't figured out yet.
That family, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to create your own family.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What did you say?
Sometimes you need to create your own family when things are dysfunctional. And that's the horses are for me. They're my family. And then we try to
So what's happening with your horses? You said that you're not all together, or what's happening, and is there anything we can do to help you?
Well, it's kind of ironic because I was ultimately working towards having a place where people could stay with the horses rather than have to drive somewhere, spend an hour, and then go home. Mm-hmm. Because really, spending that time when you're not riding is almost as fun as when you are riding, and you really get to know them, and then you're not spending such a carbon footprint on the planet too, right?
Right.
So I kind of had my place paid off in full, and then I bought into 3 houses thinking that people could stay there and ride at the ranch and then have discounted stays for helping, and people staying at the houses could have discounted rent for helping, and everything backfired and I lost my house.
Oh my goodness.
So now I'm laughing to keep from crying. But Magic was the leader of the herd at one point. and he passed away before the last move. I have a dream of a magic peace park. I had that when I had my ranch, and now I have it stronger than ever.
So did you lose everything? Did you lose the ranch and everything in the whole process?
Yeah, and I ended up selling some of the horses to feed the other horses. And
Oh my
it's
goodness.
kind of dramatic. Moved 4 or 5 times. I've personally moved 8 or 9 times.
Right.
And,
So if you could wave a magic wand and anything and everything were possible, and because I know you believe in magic, I mean, you have a horse named that, so you must believe in magic. Then what is it that you would like to happen?
Well, I just, it's kind of funny. If I could do a little more background on that query, I said where of the 3, only 1 came true.
Yeah.
But really, I've had over 70 horses in my life, not just 1. And I've had the stories with each of those horses has been amazing. The ones that I have left, I mean, spending all my life with them is all their lives with me. But the second one of going to the Olympics, I still have records, national records that have lasted over 20 years. And I kind of, full circle, one of the reasons I stopped running was I was afraid of stuff like this. I did not like the public media stuff, and here I am. But
so when you got these awards, what did you get the awards for?
For cross-country running. I should say for track and field as well, 3,000 meters. Yeah.
So that didn't have anything to do with horses. Did you win?
Well, it's funny. It has to do more with a dog of mine that died in 1976.
Yeah.
And that was the year of the Olympics. I believe we were in Montreal that year.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and I was so devastated by him dying that I got glued to the TV, and all I wanted to do was go to the Olympics when I found out I could run. So now this year is the 30th anniversary of this organization I'm a part of, the International Institute for Peace Through Tourism, and it's in Montreal. So I was thinking the other day, it's almost like this is my Olympics, to help bring this organization to the forefront in Canada and kind of unite the tourism operators and the people towards this idea of peace through tourism. And it starts with yourself, and it starts with the community, and it goes from there. But I think that's the thing. And so now I'm trying to branch out on this concept of peace being more important than money, but that you can do both through tourism. So trying to sell that to the community and have them invest in these concepts of pet peace parks and the Magic Peace Park in particular, which will be like an educational center, and bringing my family together again.
And well, that's great. So, you know, in bringing your horse family together, you're going to be bringing the human family together again as well. So where would you like to do this this project? Would it be in the Kelowna area, or would it be the Rock Creek area? Where would you like to do it?
Well, in Kelowna, I have pretty strong roots in the Okanagan, in Kelowna and West Kelowna. So I want to try to bridge these roots and provide shoots, if you will. And there's where Magic died, I think, is where the Magic Peace Park should be. The Trans-Canada Trail passes through there. There's a creek there. It's over 100 acres, and it's for sale. The people that let me stay there for free for the summer are absolutely amazing, but they're wanting to move on from the property, and it's just the perfect place for this idea.
Well, did they need to recoup a lot of money out of the property in order to retire? What?
Oh yeah. It'll cost a lot, but it'll be worth it. I want it to be, again, perhaps like what I originally intended when I had my property paid in full, was to I had a plan to have more acreage and share that with people.
Right.
So the same idea, working towards getting this cooperative to purchase it and have the tourism subsidizing the living of the people there. And just the other day, I had a girl come riding, and she said what an influence the place was on her. She'd had addictions back then. My place, I say a stable community is a healthy community, right?
Right, absolutely.
And the kids would help me out. They'd help me out, and they knew the horses as well as I did, or better. And we were just a big family. And other parents at times would just drop their kids off, and I'd find out later they had addictions, or they were just too busy. And we just had fun with the horses all day and then some.
Yeah, I understand that. In the Rock Creek area, I was part of nonprofit organization called Turtle Island Earth Stewards that we formed in 1976. And we ran a camp there for brain damaged and handicapped youth. I know those are not appropriate names to use anymore, but we used horseback or therapeutic horseback riding as a way to connect with the kids. So that connection between humans and horse, it can be magical for healing. We also were able to bring in 17 wild horses from, I guess it was the Armory Range in Alberta. We were able to rescue 17 horses and bring them onto the property as well. And to watch them
Did
run.
you know Tim?
Yeah.
Did you know Tim?
Yeah. He was the one that actually ended up with the property in the end.
Yeah, one of my horses is through him, is Alexander.
Neat.
He's a descendant of those horses.
Right. Well, that's really exciting because I helped put that property together and put it into trust. So it's not totally all in trust now, but certainly all the area around the Rock Creek River is all protected now and has covenants against the title, which is something you might want to think about too, is doing a land trust as a way of being able to protect the ecological aspects of the property that you buy. And you know, in that particular case, that was about 314 acres, and that a large part of that, 191 of the bottom acres, the grasslands, came from a philanthropist. So all this is doable. It's just, you know, putting it in your heart that that's what you want to realize, and know that will manifest. So it's all doable. Another thing that comes to mind is I did have the opportunity to go and be with Liz Mitten Ryan. Do you know her? She's written a number of books. One of them is called One with a Herd. So she communicates with her horses, and she's also a well-known writer and painter. So her ranch is called Gateway 2, and you might want to go take a look at her ranch. I think she has I don't know how many horses she has now. I think it's 16. They run all day. They come back and they are fed, of course, and are quartered overnight, but they also are available to do healings with people. And that's the way that she is able to finance the ranch, is she has 2 week-long healing sessions where you can come and be with the horses, one with the herd, learn how to communicate with them, go riding, have healing with the horses, and just learn what it is to be accepted by a herd of horses, which for me was one of the most incredible experiences that you could ever imagine. So just as an opportunity for you to see how others are doing it, and that the model can work, might be inspiring.
Well, but I had a working model where the tourism subsidized a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And again, back to IIPT, International Institute for Peace Through Tourism, the one of the main principles and goals of that is poverty reduction.
Right.
So this is a way to tap into income, but then when you're training people with it, you're helping them develop social skills as well as that feeling of belonging, which in many cases is why people do crazy things and are such so troubled, right?
Yeah. Well, like I say, that's the real value of being around horses is to understand how they work as a community and how they get along with each other. And it really is a way for humans to be able to be in that energy. I know on a table with a horse comes to heal you, it's the biggest energy field. I mean, you can't be bigger than a horse. I mean, when a horse has its nose in your chest and starts to breathe, then you're going to follow its breath. It's not going to follow yours. So it's the dominant force that brings about the healing. And it's good for humans to be able to learn to surrender. We think that we're in charge of the animal kingdom. And in this particular case, you learn that, no, you're not. You know, there's a wisdom there that we can learn that our society hasn't even really begun to grasp yet. And that's what the horses can bring to us, is that sense of community, that sense of family, that sense of belonging, that ability to open our hearts. So,
well, if I could interrupt for a sec, I also met an artist, a First Nations artist, and he drew paintings of horses and people, animals, and he said the chakras of the person and the horse align, and so it helps us get back in tune with nature and our supernatural potentials, you know?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I never thought of it that way, but again, their chakras would be more dominant than ours. So like you say, when somebody comes and was with the horses and is going through problems, as they settle into the aura of the horse, then their chakras are going to align with those of the horse, which will start to do the healing spontaneously. So that's pretty neat. So he might be a way to help you do some fundraising too by doing some of those paintings, right? That show
Oh
them.
no, that's not my skill.
No, but it's his. It's his skill. Maybe you could get him to do some paintings for a fundraiser.
Oh, I met him years ago.
But, that's such a cool idea. I mean, I can already see what that would look like, of doing a paintings of horses at the chakras and how that would affect a human. Anyway, I have a bit of an artistic background myself, so I'm already playing with the idea. It's a very powerful one. So thank you. So how can people help you realize your dream?
Right now, the truth is, my truck is broken, my scooter's broken. I'm on my bike.
Right.
I'm having challenges, and it's all so crazy. But I think it's put me in a corner where I have to ask for help, and it's not easy.
Right.
But I want to keep my herd together, and I've always just wanted to share what we have. I remember the Christmas before I lost my ranch, and I felt almost selfish in my house. I was so happy and everything, and I just wanted to share it. But, the thing is, when you have that peace and happiness, you don't need anything else. That's all I need is.
That's true. That's all anybody needs is peace and happiness.
Yeah, and you think you'll get it running but ultimately you get it. And when you get it, you don't need anything. Does that make sense?
So how long can you stay where you are on the ranch? Like, will you be able to have
This is not feasible. I live away from the horses right now.
Right.
It's without a vehicle, it's very challenging to get there. To get hay to them without my truck insured, I'm going to be going without insurance possibly in the next after this. And my dogs, who I love dearly, they're somewhere else as well. And so I'm trying to visit them every day, but it's not like I can take them with me on my bike. So it's better if I'm so lucky I found someone that loves them and it will let me have them back when I get a place.
Right. So right now, really what you need is some assistance to have a vehicle like a truck that you can haul some hay and that you can get and spend more time with your horses. That's sort of step one. Is that correct?
Well, moving the horses to a more practical place is the best. And I can get by with this until I move the horses to a place where I can get by on the bus and my bike.
Right.
Actually, I haven't even had money for a bus. Just my bike is fine.
Right now, the first thing is really to be able to spend time with your horses, right? So they got that connection. So that takes a vehicle. And then you need a home for the horses too, right?
I need a new place because it's not practical. Where I am, there are some good trails, but you have to cross a major highway. So you have to be a pretty good rider to do that.
Right, right.
And of course, it is easier if I'm around them more.
So how many, so if somebody was to put up their hand and say, hey, come and, be in our land, how many, given the amount of horses you have, what sort of acreage do you need?
Minimum 10 acres.
Minimum 10 acres, okay. But that means you got to feed them all, right? So you really would need to have alfalfa or to have some pasturage along with that, right?
Well, this time of year, you got to feed them anyway.
Yeah, I realize that.
April.
And then you'd like to have access to trails too, right?
Yeah. So it's again, things are so ironic because I used to help people in a bind with their dogs or horses or themselves. But I've been I'm so lucky to have found this place.
Yeah.
It's just not practical for me to be able to take rides.
Right.
So I can't book rides until I have a place to take them. It's that chicken and egg
right
thing.
Well, maybe
Or
this
have my trailer with it.
Say that.
Sorry?
I interrupted you.
So hard to explain over a conversation. I'd rather take you on a ride. So that's kind of what I want to do is say people that want to be trail guides, say it takes more than just like to learn to play guitar. You can't do it in one time.
Mm-hmm.
If they're willing to buy packages and learn and want to learn that and be able to also look at it like being a lifeguard.
Yeah.
If you want to teach your child to ride, well, it's like if you want to teach your kid to swim and feel safe about them being in the lake, teach them to be a lifeguard. So if you learn to be a trail guide, or if you teach your child to be a trail guide, then you really don't have to worry near so much about that person. So I'm working to sell these packages, and it's so much more fun and for everybody when you know more about each other and you're having the goal to take someone else and share that wonderful feeling of making people happy
Mm-hmm.
and doing something you love to do. Is that disjointed, or do you kind of understand?
Yeah,
And then as I train more
I mean,
people to
that
be
makes
trail
absolute
guides,
sense. So, I mean, I saw on your website that when everything comes together, you like to sell packages for people to have, you know, a number of different rides so that you can have a relationship. They can have a relationship with the horse and you can have a relationship with them. So, you know, it's not just a one-off thing. That's really what you love to do, is develop that relationship. And that's what brings about the results, particularly in the area of those that have addiction or, you know, or really would benefit from being around the horses. And then I really like the idea that, you know, in order to be a trail guide, you have to be around horses and there's certain skills that you need to learn, and that you have the experience to be able to teach that. And then the third thing that seems to me is that, you know, the whole idea of community, that the community of horses and, you know, and other animals, like it seems like you're always having other animals around you that are full of stories and events from your back. So you just attract more of those type of animals into your life. That becomes part of your entourage of being able to teach children and even adults about a different way of being in the world, which is being on a farm that's all interconnected. So yeah, all of it makes perfect sense. And I think during this time, particularly in a Kelowna area with a fast-growing community, helping provide that opportunity for people, particularly children, to connect them to nature is a very powerful thing to do.
yeah, and right now I want to develop a team of guides and people that want to mentor that whole idea, because it can't be just me.
Right.
Right? And it's as much fun as it is, and I'm at a point now that I can talk with adults. I work really good with kids, but I want to start working with adults and be able to leave the ranch and know that it's in as good or better care, and then have all of us kind of mentoring the next people up. And there's a really, if I could share this story with you, I had two horses, Belle and Mel. Belle is missing. I don't know where she is, and I don't have the ability to look after her right now anyway. I paid $500 to move 4 of the horses up north, and I got 2 of them back, but 2 of them I don't know where they are. But in any case, I had Belle and Mel trained to pull a wagon together. And Belle had been trained and Mel had not been trained to pull. So Belle was hooked up to a horse, a big heavy draft that did pull as a team, and she learned really quickly how to pull. And this other horse, he was so well trained that he could take logs, and then he'd take the log off and come back for another log by himself. So the person would hook up the log, he'd go, drop it off, come back. Amazing, right? So then here's Mel. He barely had a harness on, but he got hooked up to this well-trained horse that was a little bit bigger than him, and he learned pretty quickly how to pull. It was a lot easier to work with the horse that knew what they were doing, and then we put the two together, and Belle and Mel pulled together after that. But so sometimes when you're as a teen, it's nice to be with someone that knows what they're doing and is confident and doesn't blow up when you're having your own challenges. They just carry on and do their thing, and you learn to work as a team, and it's a lot easier that way, and you get a lot more done and have a lot more fun too. That's one of the things. I don't know if I have my theme song on there, but we just work hard and have time for more fun. That's the way I like to live. So I
Yeah,
don't like the drama. I don't know why I'm under so much drama, because it's just I work hard, play hard, and rest hard, you know?
right. And now you want to share that with other people.
Yeah, and we can have so much more fun. And then the money's a bonus that you live a lifestyle you like, but it's just I don't understand how things. I still don't understand how things went so backwards. But I think it's again. I've got a couple more goals since those three, and one is to make magic more famous than Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
Got my cut out. He's passed on though, and his smile lives on. Like he's amazing. I don't know if you saw the sticker with him smiling or anything.
Yeah, that was pretty cute. He's quite a smile, right?
Pardon me?
It's quite a smile.
Oh yeah, wasn't even photoshopped. But and the other goal, my mom had passed on when I was 17, and ironically, like from smoking, she'd had one heart attack, and then later had another after she started smoking again, which was crazy. But I won $500 in a race as a runner that was sponsored by a tobacco company. So I ran less than 10 minutes and won $500. So I figured one day I wanted to be a motivational speaker.
Well, all of that is certainly possible. So, so what's the
And
next?
I think that's why I've come all weeks. I have no fear of speaking now because I've had to be in Supreme Court so many times over the houses foreclosing and just crazy stuff. The one fella that I bought in with, he actually bought one of the houses out from under me without me knowing it somehow, and he bought it for a couple $100,000 less than the mortgage. Or sorry, he bought it for the mortgage, but a couple $100,000 less than it was worth. And so then I had to go to Supreme Court and overturn it. And then I ended up getting about 40,000, which was less than 10 cents on the dollar. But at least it gave me a couple more years of being at the ranch and try to build it up again, but just not quite enough.
Yeah, it takes an awful lot of money to buy and to manage a ranch. There's no doubt about that. It's not getting any cheaper.
I did it. Like I went from having 2 mortgages to having not only having them paid off, but another 3 acres.
Right.
To this. It's crazy. With a lot of help. I had a lot of help, but that's the secret.
So if you could do it again, what you're going to do, let's say you could do it again, what would you do differently
I'm
this
50
time?
years old. What's that?
So if you could do it again, or you're going to do it again, how are you going to do it differently?
Just not trying to do it all myself and just trying to get more input into how it works.
So it sounds like a group of people would be ideal then, and rather than trying to make a go of it on your own.
Yeah, common vision, goal.
Yeah.
But again, not trying. I mean, what we were doing worked. We had lots of fun. People enjoyed themselves so much, and just need a place to do it from again, and where it's all legit. Because that's one thing. It's hard when I was where I was, but now I don't even have the money for a business license, so it's so crazy. But that's where I don't know. But ultimately, I just got to get us together again. It's worse than losing your kids, or it's as bad as losing your kids.
Right. Well, I'm sure that there's all possible and it's all doable. It's just a matter of setting that intention that that's what you want to do. You know, maybe a Groupon or a meeting and calling people together who might be interested in a shared vision might be the way to go. Who knows, this interview on your website may be helpful too, because it'll be a video. It also goes out to 47 different countries. So if people wanted to help you do this, how can they help? How can they get hold of you, and how can they donate to your project?
Yeah, well, mandyandme.com is that way. But again, it's not just horses, it's pets and pets through peace. And
you want to create another place where there's magic, where people can come together with animals. And so what's your email? How can people get hold of you?
Silverado _Socrates at hotmail.com.
Great. So
But
anybody
even
who,
if it's a virtual place, you know?
yeah. So anybody who wants to donate to your cause or has land that they want to be able to donate or give you access to or help you out, or maybe an old pickup truck so that you can deliver your hay to your horses, then they need to get hold of you as soon as possible and help you make your dream come true. So it was great to have you on the show, and I wish you all the best in this next step. And who knows? Like you say, magic is everywhere and miracles can happen. So let's make it happen. So thank you ever so
Did
much
you
for
know-
showing up.
Again, I didn't want to make it drawn out about that stuff going on, but at the same time, be nice.
Yeah, it's all about
to,
life.
Get her going again.
So all the best, and bye for now.
Bye-bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.